Let's not forget, our training is always geared towards fighting with more than one person in the street. Obviously in the shadow fighting, we need to create this in our mind, and the more creative the mind, the better. Visualisation plays a very important part in the development of our shadow fighting, and obviously the more we learn, the more expressive our shadow fighting will become. This week we introduce another attachment weapon, the Kankutoro. We will carry the Garamona from last week's class, as we can use this as one of the connectors for the Kankutoro. Ambassador Greg is showing the technical development of this movement. He is walking through the movement slow so that we can all see what he's doing. The Kankutoro is another of those reactions that the human makes naturally. Under threat, the human will instinctively try to attack the head. That's why the Kankutoro is one of the first traps that we study. Also look how Greg is keeping the predator attitude. Even though he's showing the work really slow, we must always try to transmit intensity when we train. Even when we're tired or we start to slow down, we can still transmit intent. Hopefully by now, we are all starting to understand how important the technical training is. If we neglect the development of the mind, this kind of technical training is not easy. That's why we use a dynamic visualisation at the end of every class. If at the end of every training session we walk and talk the class through again in our mind, it will develop a strength and belief in everything that we are training. The direct knee is a basic weapon, but as with everything, we need to study and develop accordingly. The knee also possesses chameleon characteristics, and the intention and ability of the knee will unfold as the weeks pass. As we have mentioned before, the trick is to extract more possibilities from a simple movement. This is where vast amounts of investigation and experimentation will come into play. Limitation is the consequence of imitation, and investigation is the blood of creation. Let's watch as Ambassador Roland walks through the Kankatoro on the direct knee. It's a simple technical development, but nevertheless, we must develop and absorb all of these natural and instinctive reactions that occur in the human under pressure. The study of our survival instincts is fascinating. To develop instinctive methods and cultivate the instinct is a process in constant evolution, and one that is never ending, but truly amazing. As we can all see, we are playing with emotional intent every time we change or start the attack with a different weapon. We can provoke, instigate or initiate an attack. This is the consequence of good training methods and self-belief. When we catch the ability to act and react emotionally with skill, we start to understand who we are and what we are capable of. provoke with an attack, in this case the punch, instigate a response from the opponent, destroy this with the pensador, and attack with the garamono, enter with the kankutoro, and attack with the knee. Remember, we always need to understand the physical and emotional reasons as to why we do what we do. Now we complete this week's development with one opponent. As soon as we have the work down, we immediately put it into the 2-man or more predator environment. This is our cultivation process. Now maybe we can see yet another new element entering into the equation, that being the concept of the human shield. The simple weapon is one thing, but the application is another universe. This is where true understanding of simple things become amazing. These training methods are preparing us for the vast amount of information that is to come. If we have an inquisitive nature, then the KFM process will prove to be one of the most interesting projects of learning that you will ever experience, especially as far as the study of fighting methods go. Observe how Ambassador Greg uses the pensador to provoke, and then immediately attaches and traps the head. He moves the opponent and uses him like a human shield, whilst at the same time attacked with a simple direct knee. When we catch the application of simple movements, not just the technique, a vast world of potentials opens up before us. We can start to see and feel things that would normally pass us by. KFM was not born or reinvented in the dojo. It was born on the urban streets of old Spain. It is a reflection of our times, and not that of an ancient civilization. Historical information and traditions need to be preserved, but at the same time we must realise that we are constantly evolving. And if we live in the past, we're not listening to the present, and the present is where we are all living right now. The KFM has been and continues to be an incredible journey and expression of real life. KFM has grown, developed and matured on the urban streets, and the method you are now studying is a direct consequence of real events and experiences, and subsequent years of investigation. We hope you continue to enjoy the unique journey of investigation with KFM. And until next week, train hard but intelligently.